What is the difference between the Constitution Party and all the others? The Democrats and Republicans create problems, and then they get themselves reelected by promising to fix those problems. But they never seem to get around to that part. The Constitution Party brings common sense solutions that should have been implemented years ago. And today, we're going to look at one of the best. By far, the biggest weapon Washington, D.C. has to use against us is the tax dollars that they take from us. Look at a map of the United States. Washington, D.C. is a tiny little speck up in the corner, and that tiny little speck confiscates horrendous amounts of money from all of us. Then they dole it back out to the states a little at a time, as long as the states are doing as they are told. That is the exact opposite of what our government is supposed to be. Washington, D.C. is supposed to be subservient to the states, but as long as Congress holds the money hammer, we will be financial slaves of the Washington, D.C. cabal. Dianne Rufino has a brilliant plan to take that money hammer away from Congress and give it back to the states where it belongs. Dianne is a teacher, scientist, an attorney, and an excellent mother and wife. She has submitted what I call the Rufino Plan to her home state of North Carolina. She is calling for North Carolina to set up a special escrow account where all tax money collected within the state will be deposited, including federal withholding taxes. The state legislature would then review federal spending by Washington, D.C., and would then forward the appropriate amount of tax money to Washington, D.C. that will be used for constitutional spending. The state legislature will withhold money that Washington plans to spend on unconstitutional projects, which is probably most of it. Most of the money that is withheld would be returned directly to the citizens of North Carolina, with the state keeping what they need for state projects that are normally funded by handouts from Washington, D.C. Think about it. If your state takes control of the money, they take control of Congress. Congress cannot waste money that they don't have. The federal government should have never been allowed to get so far out of control. But that is what the Republicans and the Democrats have given us, and they will never willingly give up their big money scheme. We must take control of it by using the full power of the individual states. If you agree with this message, then please do two things. Join and serve in the Constitution Party, and pass this video to as many people as you can. It's time for the American people to have a political party that fixes problems instead of creating them.